Express Hardware has something for the kids. Give your little one the perfect gift for Christmas. Available at Island. Express Hardware. Located Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road. Felicity, Chaguanas. Call us at 308-5318.
Welcome to Island Express Hardware, where we work with your budget. We supply all paints, all brands, and all sizes. And we are of course the cheapest in Trinidad. We also supply pumps and water tanks, and we also have them in combo deals. Visit us for the best friendly customer service. Need steel, beams, and purlins? We got that. We have top quality lats and boxing board, plyboards, gypsum boards, you name it. Do you love to fish? Have no fear, cause we have all the gears. Visit Island Express Hardware today, located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity, Chaguanas. To Felicity Banquet Hall, where unforgettable memories are made. Whether you're planning a wedding, birthday party, corporate meeting, or any special gathering. Why choose us? We are spacious, elegant, and fully air-conditioned hall. Customizable seating for up to 200 guests. Beautiful decor and lighting options. On-site kitchen and catering services. We are available 7 days a week. Located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity, Chaguanas. Call the number on the screen today and book now.
Hassan Bisas is calling on members of the Muslim community to ignore the detractors and show their support towards the UNC. If elected, Mrs. Hassan Bisas said the government will be about good governance.
On Sentinel Media Broadcasting. Again, my friends, this program is, our starting time is 12:15 in the afternoon. And for those of you who are having your lunch break at your private sectors in your workplaces, just be mindful of your time. Very, very important. You are going to spend 45 minutes with me, or maybe a 1 hour with me today, and you have that opportunity to call those numbers 372-2129 or 485-4644. if you'd like to interact with our program here, you can call those numbers and let me know exactly what do you think about the situation that is prevailing presently. And again, my friends, you can make your contribution whether you are in support of any situation that is transpiring at this point in time. Basically, when we look at cost of living, very, very important, cost of living. We look at water. We look at the water situations. When we look at Trinidad and Tobago, you're going to realize we are very fortunate. And it might be a little pun, but again, we are very fortunate that in some countries there is total flooding, and in some countries there are drought. But in our country, we have flooding and drought. Because at this point in time, Trinidad and Tobago, I've been looking on at the different media posts that has been placed on social media, and you are going to realize that a lot of people are, they are complaining tirelessly about the shortage of water. And then just adjacent to that very community, I am seeing that people are complaining about flooding. So that's the reason why I said in some countries around the world, there is drought, and some countries they are flooding. But in our country, Trinidad and Tobago, there is drought and flooding at the same time. And that is something that you really and truly have to think about when it comes to, mediating the ill effects or the ripple effects of anything that is happening in our country. When we look at the healthcare, we look at the health situation, I just want to say hats off to the Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamal Prasad Bissessa, and again her cabinet, the Minister of Health, and those persons who were really and truly the ones who opened the facility in Couva. That would have been the Couva Children Hospital that was designated firstly and was built by the Honorable Kamal Prasad Bissessa, knowing for a fact that she has in her heart, she have the children really and truly placed at high esteem, and that, that project was a pet project of hers. And again, my friends, it was constructed and during the regime of the PNM government under the leadership of the Prime Minister at that time, the Honorable Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, and that place was shut down. And again now, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamal Prasad Bissessa, is back on the helm, and she has reopened that. And what I saw, I don't know if the director have that footage, where they have opened that hospital and they are doing same-day surgery. And that's a plus, because when you look at what is taking place in the other general hospitals, when you look at Port of Spain, San Fernando, Princestown, Grandi, you look at San Fernando, the normal ER waiting period, is from 4 to 12 hours if you are lucky. If you are lucky. Because I know for a fact that I have been following up and I've been looking at what is taking place in those facilities, namely the health facilities in Trinidad and Tobago. And my friends, there's a lot of things happening that really and truly warrants intervention from our beloved Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamal Prasad Bissessa. Right? So today in our program, we're going to have a really and truly cordial discussion. We are going to talk about, my friends, the cost of living. Cost of living, is that squeezing families, or is that changing direction when it comes to criminal actions in our country? That is something that, we have to look into. Everything have a ripple effect, right? And I'm not making an excuse for no criminal, right? Many of you might say, wait, Imam, you supporting the criminal elements in Trinidad and Tobago? No, I'm not doing that. But we have to be sensible, and we have to be really and truly understanding of what is taking place at the present time in our country. You all know for a fact that CPEP closed down. You know for a fact that URP closed down. And a lot of people are out on the breadline at this point in time. Matters not, the government of the day have injected different programs when it comes to the borough corporations and municipal corporations in the country, by including temporary or maybe some job vacancies for people to cut grass and all these things. But again, we have to look deeper into it, and we just can't say, well, here what? That is the solution. That might be a quick fix. You get injured in an accident, people will take a cloth, they take a bandage and they wrap you, but that is not the fix. They have to take you to the health facilities, whereby maybe if you need stitches, maybe if you need, surgery or whatever, they're going to do that. So the point that I'm bringing forward today, my friends, is that the cost of living in our country have really and truly escalated. And when you look at the 4,000, 5,000 margin, those people who are working under that term, the income of about about $4,000 to $6,000, it is really and truly hard if they have a family of 2 or 3 persons. And that is something that could escalate criminal activities in our country. We have to be real, be honest. Let us try to be honest and real so that you could be able to really and truly identify with the elements of society that is creating havoc. Right, that's number 2. And number 3, my friends, we're going to talk about, you know what? We're going to talk about the healthcare system. And you all, those of you who are looking on, you're going to realize that most of us, we depend on that struggling health facilities. Right? When you look at the hospital, for the past, when the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisasa were in government, 2010, 2015, a lot of things was done. There were beds and all these things. Right? New machineries, and a lot of things were implemented. And then we look at that space of 2015 to 25, you're going to realize that not really and truly much was done when it comes to the health facility, simply because when you look at 2019 to 2025, that was a period there that was really and truly a drag, in the sense that COVID took place, and a lot of monies that was supposed to be spent on improving the health facilities may have been spent in taking care of those persons who were COVID plus and so forth. So again, today in our program, my friends, I just want to let you all know, you all have an opportunity to call me. I want to say hi to all our TikTok fans. Those of you who are TikTok, Director, I think we could put up some of those TikTok on the screen so that I could be able to read it. And that's important. So those of you who are live on TikTok and you would like to contribute to our program, feel free, text your messages and I'm going to read it for you all. And this is why, you and I, we can make changes. We can do things that can elevate the status quo of our country and of our people. I just want to say a special hats off to MP Neil Gosain and his team that came down last week. Maybe I was a bit harsh, but sometimes you need to be that, okay? I want to say a special hats off to Neil Gosain, MP, for Chaguanas West, right? And look at the condition. I want you to all, those of you who are looking on, this is Abed Road West, right? This is the condition of Abed Road West, where residents are living. Residents are living. It's not a zone where nobody is living. And maybe the director could pull up some of the other videos. And people, the neighbors and the guy down in the end there, and many of us, we are contributing by gathering broken blocks and, collecting material, discarded material, and you know what? Bringing it and patching those holes. That should not have been our responsibility. That should have been the responsibility of the government of the day, knowing for a fact that many of us, Trinidad and Tobago, many of us, you're going to realize that we voted for the United National Congress, and we deserve better. We deserve better, right? You look at it. We're talking about 7 months plus gone, and we are still starving. We are still starving for basic amenities, just materials. Come back to me, Director. Just some material. That is something I've been lamenting, I've been crying, I've been pleading. I wrote letters. I have not received any correspondence from the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. I have not received any information, any info or any intel that came from the Minister of Local Government. And those people who are, in part and parcel of being contributors significantly to the betterment of the lifestyle and the life pattern of our citizens. I wrote letters and I am waiting. I am waiting on maybe a response, whether it be positive or negative. I'm still waiting, right? So those of you who are the ministries that I call out there, maybe you can look into your bins, you can look into your archives and see if you have received any letter coming from the Islamic Fidel Services Trust. That is where the home for the aged is being constructed. Director, just pull up that video just for the public to know what is going on. Now this photo that you are seeing, what you are seeing there is construction being taking place presently for the home, for a geriatric home for the aged that is located in Felicity Chaguanas. That's the only picture we have there, Director? Director, we have more photos? All right, come back to me, Director. All right, sorry about that, audience, outside there. Those of you who are locked on, maybe later on we'll gather some other photos and show you all what is happening at the Abed Road extension, where the home for the aged that has been constructed by the Islamic Fidelity Services Trust for the population, for citizens of our country. Right, so again, this is what we're talking about. Right, this is what we're talking about. Those of you who are locked on, this is the entrance to that home. Okay, so the home is being constructed on the left where those vehicles are, where that parked vehicle is. And when you look at the road, the condition of the road, really and truly, it is left to be desired, right? And people voted for the United National Congress, those residents of the area. Some of them are really and truly mad. They are blue, and they're not speaking, maybe they're not speaking anything positive. I'm not going to say what they're saying. But I'm going to ask the government of the day, those persons who are in charge, Minister of Works and Transport, Minister of Social Services, Minister in the Ministry of Local Government, and again, Minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, right? Those are the four ministries really and truly has to be communicated with, and I have done that. I've done my homework. I've done that. I've fulfilled the protocol of it. This week, I'm going to show you all, maybe Saturday coming, I'm going to show you all the letters that I wrote. I'm going to show you the date that I wrote the letters and how long it is that we have to wait to get a communication response from those relevant ministries. Right? So, my friends, I just want to let you all know today in our discussion, we're talking about cost of living. Is it easy for you or is it harder for you when you go to the supermarket now, knowing for a fact that many people are unemployed, and so much so, the rising cost of food in our supermarket shelves. Like for example, I remember last week I was looking at a post that was done by a past minister in government, a past mayor, and he was dissecting the cost of Nescafe and the cost of so much things that is the rise and the increase in cost of those things. Government said to tackle price gouging. Now, I spoke about that last week. So it seems as though many people are in the same wavelength like us in studio. Because I spoke about that, a lot of people buying stuff, and they know for a fact that there's imminent transportation increased costs. So many people are raising their price under the pretext that it is costing more monies to bring the food into the country at this point in time. So we are saying hats off to the government for that press release where they are tackling the price gouging at this point in time. So again, my friends, as we continue, we're going to talk about money, we're going to talk about water, and we're going to talk about health. But as I said in my first segment of our program here, criminal elements, they are doing a lot of mayhem. They are creating a lot of problem for the hardworking citizens of our country, knowing for a fact that this is a festive season. This is a season that is coming up here. Everybody knows that. There's a lot of people who shopping. There's a lot of people who purchasing. There's a lot of money's transaction taking place. So I'm going to say this to you all, those of you who are locked on, especially the business community in Trinidad and Tobago, what you all need to do is really and truly be very active, not proactive alone, but active in protecting your own selves and your business via maybe hiring private security companies, or maybe at getting more camera system where you can be able to monitor who is coming in and who is going from your establishment, and maybe you could be able to follow and track. Because again, people they don't understand. They don't understand that any supermarket or any store that you go in right now, any establishment, as a matter of fact, even so much so, any home that you go into right now, people are monitoring your entry and your exit. And yet still we're seeing people, they're going into place like last week. Last week, that was the worst. Last week, I don't know if you all saw this. One person, right? He went into a supermarket and he took a lot of stuff. And then he went by the cash register and he started checking, right? And the last thing that he had in his hands was, I think, was cigarettes and something. And when he do check, when the figure was tilted up and the figure was placed before him, he pretended he's going in his pocket, and then he got to realize that, hey, my money in the car. So he told the cashier in a kind of technical way, maybe I run into the car park to collect my money. And lo and behold, he dashed through the doors, and he never returned. That is the depth of skullduggery that is taking place in our country. I don't know if you all saw it, but that was bandied around on social media. People are going at any and every length to really and truly take away your product, take your profits, take your monies. Another person came to me last week and said, Imam, imagine this Trinidad and Tobago, and you all have to, especially pluck shop owners, be very careful. People are placing big orders for you, right? People are placing big orders for you, 20 and 30 chickens, and you are putting it in maybe in order bags. And you know what they do? They come to your establishment and they tell you, okay, put it in the vehicle, I'm going to pay. And here what? They put it in the vehicle and they just pretend again the same way and they drive off. I remember that happened in Charleville, where a person, he said he wanted to buy 2 tanks of gas. And he made the person come put the gas tank in his vehicle. He didn't get time to even take out the 2 gas tanks and he drove away. So be very careful. This is what our program is all about. We are here to highlight and to entertain you all and let you all know, well, hear what? Trinidad and Tobago is not the real situation like what transpired in the past, where you could have left your doors open, you could have left your car idling. You all know what happened this week? You all know what happened in Trinidad and Tobago? One person, imagine a female passenger in the car, right? This is how brazen criminal elements have become in our country, Trinidad and Tobago. This person, I imagine this, the car running, the car idling, right? And a person sitting on the other side, passenger, a woman was sitting there, and a masked bandit entered the car, pronounced on her maybe a hold-up or a kidnapping or something like that. It's a good thing the woman had the audacity and the strength to open the vehicle and jump out, because you don't know what could have happened. Maybe she could have been a statistic again. Right? So Trinidad and Tobago, I want you all to join me here today. Join me on our program. Join me on set. Call me at 372-2129. When we open the lines, we're going to take calls from you all, 485-4644. That's the number that you can reach me, and we can change discussion. We can have discussion on anything and everything that you would like to discuss that is happening in your community. Let's take our break, and when we come back, we're going to continue.
Island Express Hardware has something for the kids. Give your little one the perfect gift for Christmas. Available at Island Express Hardware, located Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity, Chaguanas. Call us at 308-5318.
Welcome to Island Express Hardware, where we work with your budget. We supply all paints, all brands, and we are of course the cheapest in Trinidad. We also supply pumps and water tanks, and we also have them in combo deals. Visit us for the best friendly customer service. Need steel, beams and purlins? We got that. We have top quality lats and boxing board, plyboards, gypsum boards, you name it. Do you love to fish? Have no fear, because we have all the gears. Visit Island Express Hardware today, located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity, Chaguanas.
My friends, welcome back to our program Hard Facts that is aired on Sentinel Media Broadcasting Mondays, Wednesdays and Saturdays, starting time 12:15 in the afternoon. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim, where we deal with relevant issues that is taking place in our country. A lot of things is happening, and a lot of things really and truly is happening positive in some cases, and some cases on the other end, we look at the negative things that is happening in our country. So maybe those of you who are locked on, you can call me at 372-2129, or you can call me at 485-4644, where we can discuss what is really and truly happening at this point in time. Water shortage, flooding, and infrastructure collapse. That is something that, we really and truly have to dive into. That's the reason why those of you who have been watching me, those of you who have been looking on Facebook, TikTok, and so forth, you're going to realize that an invitation was given to the MP, the Member of Parliament for Chaguanas West, and that's what have been Neil Gosine. And he came and he visited the site and he saw where the construction work is taking place for the home for the aged. That is at Abbott Road Extension, Felicity, Chaguanas. And that is a place where we're going to accommodate at least 60 to 90 persons, where they're going to get tea, breakfast, dinner. They're going to get their clothes washed. They're going to get therapy if they need therapy. They're going to get doctor visits, and they're going to get 24 hours monitoring if that the case warrant those things. So again, those of you who are locked on and you have any family members that maybe is aged or in some case infirmed, and they would like to have the attention of nurses and you know, people who would be matrons who would be there, feel free to call the numbers and we can be able to enroll, because we are looking to open that establishment around February, March, all right, of 2026. Work is really and truly going on at a steady pace, and we need all hands on deck. We are asking the relevant agency, Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. We are asking Ministry of Agriculture. We are asking Minister in the Ministry of Local Government. And we are asking Minister in the Ministry of Social Development to see, you know, at least go through your mails and see what has been written to you and corresponded to you, so that maybe you can contact us with relevant information of any assistance that can be available to us at this point in time. Right? So again, we continue our program, and we are asking, again, those of you who are having problem, as I said before, there are people, there are entire communities that depend on truck-borne water still in our country. Another question has to be posed: WASA infrastructure, all infrastructure, I want to say, leaking and bursting mains. That is a thing that happens every single day. And the question is, how, like, let me just give you a practical example. And maybe anybody in your area, rural areas, whether it be in Monroe Road, Londonville, Charleville, whether it be in San Fernando, Diego Martin, Port of Spain, wherever you may be, right? And you can relate to what I'm saying here today. When was the last time any major road infrastructural work has been done in your area? That's number one. Number two, have there ever been, maybe in the past 20 years or 15 years, any changing of any means done by WASA in your communities? I want to tell you all something. I've been living in Felicity all my life. And I tell you something, there are main line that was, I would say, approximately 8 inches in diameter or 10 inches in diameter. And because of the corrosion that is in that line right now, I doubt if there's 4 inches of water space. Right? I doubt it, because I have never seen any line change in the past 20 years. Anything done to rejuvenate the water system in our area of Felicity and environs. The only thing that I saw ever happen would have been that 48-inch main line that came from maybe the desal plant and were headed somewhere down to the north. I can't detect or tell you exactly where it went, but that would have been the only major water infrastructural work that has ever been done, maybe in a period of 40 to 45 years. Those of you who are locked on, feel free to call me, 705. That's another number you can reach me, because I see another line running up there. And those of you who are on TikTok, those of you who are live, maybe watching me on your phones, it is easy for you to just text a message and let me know what is taking place with you, with your families at this present time. As we continue again, my friends, as we continue, very, very importantly, many of us, you know, we have been talking about government. We have been talking about government. I want to say congratulations to those new senators that came on board. I do hope and pray that you're all going to do government business and not mobelang. Because I tell you something, I gave you all, in last week's contribution in our program, I spoke about the responsibilities of the Prime Minister. And that responsibility is really and truly a vast, a very humongous one for the Honorable Kamal Prasad Bisesa. Hence the reason I'm sure that she would have a lot of advisors and a lot of aides and a lot of people assisting her. And very, very similar it would have been when I gave you all some of the rules and some of the things that the opposition leader has to do holding that portfolio, you're going to realize that basically she has to monitor. She has to monitor what the government is doing when it comes to spending the monies that is the people's money of Trinidad and Tobago. Monitor and look and see exactly if there's transparency and so forth. So I gave you all, a breakdown last week. Maybe if you all would like some more breakdown on those things, maybe I can do that for you all. But again, the question begs to be asked, are we in a better state today than we were in the past? Right? Maybe you can call me, feel free to call me and let me know exactly what is taking place. And another thing again is the government of the day doing enough when it comes to crime. Because here it is, we are in a state of emergency. Our country is in a state of emergency, but yet still we are still seeing large numbers of home invasions. We are seeing large numbers of homicide. We are seeing large numbers of robberies and larcenies. We are seeing large numbers of people committing heinous crime in our country. And I want to ask the question, really and truly, is the state of emergency changing the scenario of crime in our country or not? And that is something that we could discuss here in our program. Right? So again, as I take my second break, those of you who are locked on, feel free to call me.
Island Express Hardware has something for the kids. Give your little one the perfect gift for Christmas. Available at Island Express Hardware, located Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity, Chaguanas. Call us at 308-5318.
Program Hard Facts that is aired Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays starting time 12:15 in the afternoon. I'm your host, Imam Rashid Karim, and this is your program, Hard Facts on Sentinel Media Broadcasting. A lot of things have been discussed thus far. We talk about crime, very, very important. We talk about home invasion, and are you satisfied? Women find her mom dying at home with throat slit. Somehow or the other, it seems as though the criminal elements in our country, they are taking advantage. They are taking advantage of this state of emergency that is happening in our country, right? We are seeing, different assistance that have been given to provide relief for fire and gas explosion victims. Now that is something that a lot of people are asking. Come back to me, Director. A lot of people are asking. Hold back, come back to me. A lot of people are saying to me that the LPG gas at this point in time. And one individual called me last week, and hear what? There is some sort of problem brewing up when it comes to the LPG gas suppliers in our country. It seems as though one of the companies is changing. They are changing the head for the cylinder, the 25-pound cylinders that has the LPG gas. Some companies, they are changing. It seems as though that there is a defective head, or maybe because of the long-term usage and so forth, those head, I know for a fact that around the cylinder head there, right, in the gas tank, there's a rubber. And I know for a fact that many times we purchase gas and the rubber itself, it seems as though it is ancient. It is really and truly old and burst up and all these things. Maybe that would have been one of the reasons why we are seeing a lot of tank exploding and a lot of people losing their lives and their properties and so forth. As we saw in our last video there, some relief is being given to aid those persons who were victims of those fires. But the point I'm making is why it is that the government cannot implement something like this, that all gas tank has to be recalled. Because people are saying this, that there's a shortage. People are saying that there's a shortage of LPG supplies in our country. One person called me from the Freeport area, and he was saying that he having a major problem, right? Because the gas tank head is being changed at other establishments, and they are not taking his own to change the gas tank head. So it seems as though some discrimination is taking place, and that has to be resolved. He called our station. I told him to call me, send some photos, but it seems as though, I have to battle it on my own. People are making the claims, but they are just scared now to supply evidential, maybe proof of what we could be able to identify so that, John public outside can know what really is happening in our country. So the LPG system, all right, the gas head itself, the stove head, the tank head, that is having some problem, and I think that there's a recall by one company where they are changing that head. Normally, there have been other suppliers using the same head, but it seems as though this company has changed the head to identify with his company, and maybe those persons who have purchased, who are having this head, they have to purchase that gas. And that is something I believe the government of the day should really and truly intervene on that. Because basically all the gas tank head would have been similar at this point in time. And those of you who have maybe shops and maybe have parlors and maybe you are living around the area and that is the problem that you are faced with, now is the time to call. Call me at 372-2129 and identify and tell John public outside there what you are challenged with, what you are facing at this present time. Right? That's very, very important. Right? So again, my friend Bossman. Hi, hello, Taylor. Right? So those of you who are locked on TikTok, share this video and let the people of Trinidad and Tobago know here what. Hey, you have a voice. You have a voice. You can call the station. Be real, be realistic, and let us know. If just tell me something. How many of you went to the health centers or the hospitals in our country, right? I would like you all to share your experience. Let the people know this is a way, if you have a product and you're selling your product, right? And people purchase your product, and they would go into the comment section and they would check and see the review, how people review your product. And if people say, well, it's good, what happened? It would attract people to come to your business. It would attract people and let people know that you are doing something positive. And that is what this show is all about. This show, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, is a show that was established not to mobelang, not to bring down people. It's to elevate the status of the citizenry of this country and also even the representative when it comes to governmental agencies. How many of you went to a hospital or health facilities this week, right? And a health facility, and maybe you were dished out with a nice treatment, or you got through very fast, or you was assisted by someone there. Maybe you can talk about that, because by you speaking out, and you don't have to speak about the negative too, because I tell you something, not everybody is animals outside there. Not everybody might be pigs or whatever. There are people, when you go to these facilities, sometimes you really and truly meet genuine, kind-hearted, loving, caring people, namely doctors and attendants and so forth. So not everything, you have to call the station and tell me something negative. You can call the station and be positive. Let people know what you really and truly met. It mightn't be 100%. It even mightn't be 50%. But again, 1%, 2% really goes a long way in elevating the feelings and the emotions of those hard-working citizens who are doing their best when it comes to the health facilities of our country. Like for example, the Couva Hospital was opened by this government, and they are doing same-day surgery. That is the information that came to our desk. So what I did, in the opening remarks of our program, I complimented the Honorable Prime Minister the Honorable Kamal Prasad Bissessa. I also complimented the Minister in the Ministry of Health, and I even saw the name, Mr. Dowlat name was there on it. I don't know how his name came into that post, but his name was there. So I want to say hats off to you guys and continue your good work, right? So again, Trinidad and Tobago, this is your program, Hard Facts. I'm your host, Imam Rashid Karim, and I'm talking about issues that is affecting us. Issues that is affecting us when you go to the, because if you're working for $6,000 per month, basically I tell you something, maybe $2,500 out of those monies is going for food. And are you getting your money's worth? Those are things that you can talk about. Because after you pay electricity bill, after you pay internet bill, after you pay WASA, and after you pay all your bills, maybe you end up with nothing. And that's one of the points that I raised before. Maybe that could be one of the reasons that the criminal element in our country, they are not studying, well, it's a state of emergency. They're not studying anything, right? They're not studying what situation that we are in right now. They just care about food and belly. They only care about themselves and their children and whatever. So they're going anywhere and anyhow, and they're going to do any and everything to make sure that they get food in their table. I mean, I'm just saying this, I am not condoning no criminal elements, because in the first place, I tell you something, this country is not bad as places like Venezuela and so forth. Our country is a blessed place. If people want to make it here, they could make it here. But you know something? A lot of you all are very lazy. You could only be counting other people's money, and you can't count your own money. You only counting your money. No, you only know how to count people's money. You don't care what time they get up in the morning, what time they go to sleep at night. But you look at the vehicle they drive, and you look at the house they live in, and you look at that, that aspect of it, and say they're wealthy, but you don't understand how they make it. You have to, you have to really and truly stop in your crease, and you have to stand up for yourself and start doing the relevant things that could really and truly make a difference in your life and your family life. Because I tell you something, many of you, when you commit crimes outside there, right? When you commit crime outside there, you don't ever think that it have a ripple effect. Because maybe you have sons and daughters, and they know for a fact that my father is a bandit. And they know for a fact that my father getting away with murder. And they know for a fact that my father is doing this and they are doing that. I tell you something, slowly, and slowly, those very children that you have in your own house, they are going to gravitate to crime. And that's the reason why today in our program, I am calling on the government of Trinidad and Tobago to think again, right? Think again. We are in a state of emergency. Our country is like that. But what I'm saying, my friends, those of you who are locked on, it is real. People need to be eating food. People need to get jobs. People need to get money. And I tell you something, money, health, and crime, those are three important issues that could be talking about on this program week after week from now till next year. From now till next year, we're going to talk about these things, and it's going to be most relevant. It's going to be most relevant, my friends. So as I take my final break, I want you all to really and truly take down those numbers, 372-2129, 485-4644. Send your clips, send your information, and we're going to read it out. We're going to talk to you live one-on-one, and we're going to really and truly try to see how we can motivate our citizens in our country to really and truly become better citizens. Let's take a break.
Island Express Hardware has something for the kids. Give your little one the perfect gift for Christmas. Available at Island Express Hardware, located Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity, Chaguanas. Call us at 308-5318.
Welcome to Island Express Hardware, where we work with your budget. We supply all paints, all brands, and all sizes. And we are of course the cheapest in Trinidad. We also supply pumps and water tanks, and we also have them in combo deals. Visit us for the best friendly customer service. Need steel, beams, and purlins? We got that. We have top quality lats and boxing board, ply boards, gypsum boards, you name it. Do you love to fish? Have no fear, because we have all the gears. Visit Island Express Hardware today, located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity, Shogunas.
Welcome back, my friends. Those of you who are locked on, I was just chatting with someone on TikTok, and they were saying this to me. This is Christmas time, and the poor people in our country have no money, and the poor people in our country have no work, right? So that is something I'm sure that the government of the day, under the leadership of the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, I'm sure they're thinking about that. Because let me tell you something. There are lots and lots of people who are getting grant. There are lots and lots of people who are getting grant in our country, right? They are getting grant because last week or the week before, one person called me and said to me that they got a grant. I think the grant was $8,500, and that was to purchase a bed, 2 mattresses, and something again, right? Something again, and they had to produce receipt or whatever to the relevant agencies so that the money could be accountable for or whatever. Again, people, my friends, again, TikTokers are saying this, people want work. So those people who are, the people who are planning, something, let me just dissect something before we close this program here today. Let me tell you something. Health, number one, health. Let me talk about health. Those of you outside there. One person is telling me here, and I'm reading this, can't afford to pay my bills and make groceries. That is not you alone, my dearest. That is not you alone. There are thousands and thousands of people in the same category. People, they normally buy little thing for the Christmas time for their children and so forth. And another thing, as you talk about Christmas, that came up to my mind. We have to be very, very wary. We have to be very mindful of those people who are coming on. They are coming around to the business establishment and saying they're doing Christmas treats. They're doing Christmas treats, right? And they're walking with a big sheet. And you know something? Businessmen in our country, they are giving out. And they are giving monies. And you ask the question, who is accountable to those agencies that is collecting these monies? Because I looking at some of these people who are coming by me, right? And I tell you something, I asking myself, what really going on? People want to be charitable. You want to be charitable. Hear what? I had a little argument this week with some people. I remember last year in my area, right? Maybe about 5 or 6 caravan. They came to give out toys. And they came to give out their goodies for Christmas. And people were not coming out. People were not coming out anymore because they were so much, they get so fed up at these things. Hear what I would suggest, right? Every area have councillors. Every area. And every area have a member of parliament or ministers in government. Instead of, you going and having, 10 music truck passing and you have to pay for the music truck and you have to pay for this and pay for that and pay for the next. Gather the people at one venue. Small venues in your constituencies. And maybe produce a bag. Like I remember this when I was going to school. Right? When I was going to school, everybody had to go Christmas, when we have our Christmas treats. They have to walk with their own enamel cup. Those of you outside there and maybe you are listening to me, you're going to realize this. We had to walk with our own enamel cup. And you wouldn't believe this. Some children would go with big cup like this. Big like, like... It was funny, right? But the point I'm raising here is that everybody want to be, they want to be charitable, right? They want to be charitable. They want to be Santa Claus. But you know something? They are being Santa Claus with their own money. They want to be Santa Claus with other people's money. They want to pass by every business, collect money, purchase things, and go outside there and say, well, we giving out toys. We giving out this. We giving out that. I am telling you all, if you want to be charitable, there is people around your own homes, in your own vicinity. Take 25 houses from where you live and identify maybe people who are poor and needy and so forth and write down their names and get a toy or something and get a bag or either one clothes. Not everybody want a toy or a dolly or everybody want a gun, or this. People want, it has some children want food. It has some children want clothes. It has some children want shoes. They don't only want a gun to shoot, or they only want a toy to make noise, or a dolly, or a blow this or blow that. No, some of these children need to have food. They need to have food. You understand? I want to read this text here. Amika Maharaj, Amrika. They're doing that for fame, right? That same money could make some hampers and give to the poor people. Exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. Our dear sister there, Amrika Maharaj, she's saying that very same thing, right? People passing. I remember this. I tell this, I feel shame. I feel shame for these people. Nobody coming out, no children coming out for any toys, right? Long time it was, I mean, people gravitated, but not now. People don't come out for anything, because when you look at the toy that they're buying, or going down so and they're buying a $5 thing, a $10 thing, that's it. I am saying to you all, let us be genuine. You want to give charity, your group want to give charity, don't make it massive as how you want to make it massive. And put it out as the person say, they want name and fame. Big truck passing, music truck passing, this, that, the next. Hey, take out 25 homes in your own adjacent community there. Take out 25, identify who need food, who need shoes, who need some clothes, whatever. Make a hamper, drop it for them. That is what we're supposed to be doing. You understand? I tell you, some of you might hate me, you know. Some of you might really say, well, this man is mad, you know. This man, you know, he why you know, and you know, people will say these things, why you know, and stop right there. But my point here, Trinidad and Tobago, is that, hey, let me be real, man. Let me be honest and real. Right? Why crime is escalating? The criminal elements in our country, some of them, their appetite have become large. They don't want to settle for small thing again. These are the ones that the government had to really and truly tackle. Right? Tackle and get them off the streets. For sure. Get them off the streets. Whether you like it or not, or the other, get them off the streets. And next thing again, you holding, right? You locking up people, putting them in prison. Right? Have you, any one of you ever went to the prison? Or have you ever identified, or have anybody really and truly did maybe a documentary of the prison in Trinidad and Tobago? Man, let me tell you something. A pig better than that place. Ask me. In some cases, it is the worst smelling place that you could ever be. Right? And I tell you something. Some of you might say, heinous crime, they commit this, they murder this, that, the next. For murder, you murder. Hang them. Don't go and feed them there and that, the next. You have to understand these things. They are policies. Right? Now, the best way to do this thing is to nip it in the bud. If you look at Trinidad and Tobago, you look at the health facilities, why it is jam-packed? Why? Why it is jam-packed? Why so much people suffering from diabetes? Why so much people suffering from hypertension? Why so much people suffering from this disease, that disease, and the next? Let me tell you something. One of the worst water that you and I could ever drink is the water that we're receiving in the pipelines that is supplied by WASA. The worst water. I'm telling you that. I tell you something, if anybody, you know, they do an independent check on the components of that water, you're going to realize that something is adverse. Because I tell you something, when you put a glass, right, Trinidad and Tobago, you put a glass on that tap and you fill that water, you're going to drink that water. And when you put it by your nose, it's smelling worse than anything. The amount of chlorine that water have, basically that is the reason I would say that is causing so much damages to the organs in people today. That is maybe one of the reasons. And then again, when you go and you buy this fast food and you go in these supermarkets and you get all these things, who's monitoring these things? Who is monitoring what is packaged? You know something? I'll tell you something. This morning, somebody came, right? And they bought a pan of biscuit. Those Danish cookies, right? Those Danish cookies. And you know something? Those people were asking me, hey, you read the origin, the place of origin for that cookies? They're asking me, you know what country that come from? And I leave it at that. Those of you who want to further it up, you can further it up. But the point that I'm making is hygiene is very important. Right? A lot of things is happening in our country that is creating a menace to the health facilities because people are getting sick by eating this junk food. by eating this food that is contaminated, by drinking the water that is not healthy. A lot of things is happening. And who is monitoring that? Today people, and I'll tell you something, why those things are happening is people looking to purchase cheaper foods, cheaper quality foods, so that they can be able to put it in the shelves. They can sell for 3 for 20, and 3 for 10, and 3 for this, and 3 for that, because people gravitating towards that. And the people who processing these things, the people who processing these canned foods and sending it into our country, my friends, they are putting what? They are not putting what you're paying for or what you think you're paying for. And that is the reason why the ripple effect and the ripple action and the ripple system that's taking place within that framework where everybody wants to get something cheaper. Right? They want to get something cheaper. To get cheaper, it mightn't be healthy. So I am telling you all, when it comes to crime, you have to look, you have to do something deeper. You have to go deeper. You understand? You have to dive deeper into that. Why? We are in a state of emergency, our country. Right? And so much heinous crime still being committed. Right? A lot of things are given, my friends. When you look at health facilities, people are not getting better. Let me just give you an example. 25 years ago, Trinidad and Tobago, 25 years ago, when you hear somebody kidney fail them, that would have been a bad thing. That would have been something that never really happened in the past. 25 or 30 years ago, when somebody kidney failed. That's a big thing. A humongous thing, somebody kidney failed. Today, chances are, many people, when you go for a checkup today, they're going to tell you, well, here what, your kidney failing, your kidney failing, your kidney failing, your organs failing. And why is that so? Why? Because of the foods that has been imported, and that is because of the foods that we are eating, and that is because of the lifestyle that we are living. Because today we have to pay bills. We have to pay bills because they're cutting you off. TNTech, WASA, they come in and they're cutting you off. You don't pay a bill. Right? Don't talk about Wi-Fi. Don't talk about that. Internet service. You don't pay a bill, they cut you off. Right? So people want their children to be happy. So daddy and mommy have to go to work. And daddy and mommy have to swallow a piece of bread. And daddy and mommy have to swallow a piece of aloo and roti. And daddy and mommy have no time together. That is the reason why it have broken marriage. That is why, children are being left alone and they are committing all these crimes. And we are breeding criminals in our country because of that, because of the lifestyle that we are faced with and the struggles that we are plagued with. That is what is happening. We have to, we have to do a holistic approach and do some holistic thinking. Why it is? Ask the question. Why it is our country is in a state of emergency? Why it is so much crime happening? Ask the question, why it is that all the hospitals don't have bed? Why it is that, so much things happening in our country? Ask this question. Let's be realistic. We have 3 and 4 ministers in one ministry. Right? We have that. Are they performing? Are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? Some of you mightn't like what I'm saying, but I really don't care. Being real, being realistic. My country comes first. My people come first. All the time you hear people barking and they barking and they barking. PNM this, UNC this, UNC this. They you know something? They sit down in a throne now. They sit down in a throne and everything honky-dory, everything good. Nobody wants to say anything. They don't want to step on no toes. But I tell you something. I am going to speak out. I'm going to speak for the truth. Because I know for a fact the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisasa wants the truth. The Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisasa wants to know what is going on in those relevant ministries. She wants to know that she don't want to look like a fool. She wants the people, as the campaign slogan would have read, when the UNC win, everybody win. The Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisasa want that to happen. But again, there are people who are fighting her down. There are people who are challenging that. There are people who want to make her look bad. I'm telling you that. I have information on that. They want her to look bad. You understand? So my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, we have to be realistic. We have to be honest with ourselves. What is causing all this problem in our country? Forget Venezuela. Forget Maduro. That's not our problem at this point in time. Our problem is the safety of our citizens. We are talking about bread and butter issue here. We're talking about healthcare. We're talking about crime. We're talking about infrastructure. We're talking about flooding. We're talking about drought. How come you all have drought? You have no water supply. You cannot supply water in the rainy season. Just imagine when it really have a drought period, that 6-month dry season, they will tell you, well, here what? Bathe with a paint pan of water. Bathe with a half paint pan of water. Because you can't use no hose. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do the next. Right? When was the last time any government, we're talking about the past government, we're talking about the PNM government, when was the last time you all think about, building a new reservoir? There's so much trapped water we can trap coming down from the mountains. There's so much water down in Southland there, where every year homes are washed away, crops are washed away, and so much flooding takes place. But nobody's thinking about, building a dam to trap that natural gold that we have, that water that we have. Nobody thinking about that. One government come in, one government go, one government come in, one government go, and same old. The business community in our country have to feel the brunt of everything. We have to pay everything. We have to do everything. We have to maintain. We have to pay the salaries for the government of the day, the opposition. We have to pay the doctors. We have to pay the lawyers. We have to pay everybody's salary. Who doing it? Is the business community in our country. People who get up 3 o'clock in the morning and goes up to 12 o'clock in the night. These are the people, the hard-working citizens of our country. And the hard part about it, Trinidad and Tobago? Business community do not be recognized. They always tap in our pockets to save the country when there is any problem. Raise the price of this. Raise the price of that. Carry up this. Do that. And who foot in the bill? Where is our resources coming from? Trinidad and Tobago, where is our resources coming from? Do we have export agriculture? Do we have citrus? Do we have animals? Do we have dairy? Do we have oil? What really and truly do we have in this country that really and truly builds what is our GDP? What is our GDP? Those are things that you all have to discuss, and you all have to be real, my friends. You have to be real. So at this point in time, let me just take this opportunity. It's 1:17 in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. My time as the director is alluding to me that our time is up for our program. So I want to thank you all very, very much. May God Almighty bless you all, keep you all safe. And join me next week, where we're going to talk about, again, cost of living, water situation, and healthcare. And most of all, you know what we're going to talk about? The star in the Christmas tree, crime in our country. The star in the Christmas tree is crime and home invasion in our country. We're going to talk about that. We're going to beat that. We're going to beat that, my friends, week after week, until really and truly we see some better men coming in, and better men for our country, Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you all, and may God Almighty bless you and your entire family.
Island Express Hardware has something for the kids. Give your little one the perfect gift for Christmas. Available at Island Express Hardware, located Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity, Chaguanas. Call us at 308-5318.
Quando eu comecei, ele já tá safado, novinho, bandido, safado,